Hey guys, as you can see, I'm not here in my office, which is where I normally do my videos, actually here on the beautiful island of Corfu in Greece on our family holidays. But as you know, communication skills stuff is never too far from my mind, and I managed to spot the Zoom debate of the Conservative leadership competition, which kind of just highlighted how people still get a lot of things wrong when it comes to their communication skills online in online meetings. So I thought I'd shoot a very quick video on it to show the mistakes that the 5 candidates got wrong. One of them kind of did as well as you probably could, but even he didn't quite get it right. So yeah, I'm going to move inside. It's a bit loud out here, and I don't want you to be distracted by the view. And so let's see how they got on. So this is about the best room I could find to do this recording, so excuse me, but let's focus on the message. One of the difficult things with online meetings is that there are some technicalities that it's very easy to get wrong. And if you get them wrong, they really distract from your overall message and the strength of your communication. And unfortunately, in the Conservative leadership debate that was done online on Zoom, each of the 5 candidates literally got different things wrong that are the kind of things that I always advise that you have to focus on. So let's look at these 5 candidates, and I'm going to play a little section of their video each time, and I'm going to see if you can spot what they did wrong, and then I'll come back and give you my take on it.
I wasn't brought up as a traditional Conservative. I grew up in Paisley. I went to school, comprehensive school in Leeds. And what I saw at that school is I saw lots of children being let down by low educational standards, by a lack of expectation, and also by a lack of opportunity.
So first we have Liz Truss. As I understand it, in the first proper debate, she kind of didn't perform very well, which accords with my own personal view of her skills as a communicator. But in this particular online, debate that they had, the problem here is the use of the blurred background. And I always advise people against this. As you can see where I am, I don't have a great background. I'm kind of in my daughter's room, partly at the bed, right? But it's still better to let people just see what's behind you, because there's something about a blurred background that feels like you're trying to hide something. And especially when you are in a debate for your life, effectively, in this case, they're debating to become leader of the country. You really should have things properly set up so you can have a nice background, one that shows what you want it to show. You really should have the time to do that. If you look at the background that I have in my office when I do my videos at home, you'll see that I've got nice framing at the back. I've got a chess set. I've got a little bit of light. I've got, I think, a whiskey bottle, right? It's thought through so that it just presents a nice background image. That means people don't focus on the background image, they focus on you. So the blurred background is really a problem. Also because although the technology is good, it's not good enough to make it seamless. So when you move about, you actually see a little bit of furring on the edge of your body where the AI is trying to catch up with your movements. So my advice is always to avoid blurred backgrounds. Let's take a look at the next candidate.
We must remember in this contest that whilst we're choosing a new leader, the nation is watching us choose a new prime minister. And we should be focused on the issues that matter to them. We should recognise what families and businesses need. They're facing real quality of life issues.
Now we're on to Penny Mordaunt, who at the beginning of the election competition was my tip to make it as leader, because I actually think she's a very good communicator. Now, in fact, she's had some trouble, mainly with the substance of her message rather than the style in which she delivers it. Although even the style has suffered because I think she doesn't really have enough substance to give her style something to work with. But in this particular Zoom meeting, her problem here is twofold. Number one, she uses a virtual background, and as you've seen, even with blurred backgrounds or virtual backgrounds, I really don't like them. Show us where you are, tidy up your background for whatever you want to do, right? But show us where you are so we don't get the feeling you're trying to hide something. She also really has the problem with that kind of background morphing into her body as the AI tries to catch up. But the real problem that I see here, and this is a different problem that people often have with online meetings, is that she doesn't look at the camera when she is speaking. She obviously has a script, nothing particularly wrong with that, although I would have preferred that she used notes and then look up and deliver. But she actually looks down at the screen. So if I do this here, if I look at the screen, this is me looking at the screen. I'm using my iPad. Looks really weird, right? Looks like I'm not looking at you. Whereas if I look to the camera, now it feels like I'm looking at you. If you watch Penny Mordaunt doing her part in this meeting, in this debate, she's not looking at the camera. So as a result, she misses out on the opportunity to make good eye contact with her audience, which is such an important part of communication, because connection really is the critical thing you should be thinking about. So simple mistake that she's made, which undermines her kind of presenting herself as the next leader in waiting. Shame, but that's how it goes. Let's see the next candidate.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I put myself forward to be our party leader to tell the truth, but this afternoon I want to tell you who I am and let you see what sort of person I am and why I'm putting myself forward to be the leader and to be the Prime Minister of our country. I'm an engineer and a problem solver, and unlike others, I don't promise things without a plan to deliver them.
Okay, so this one is really obvious, and no, it's not my computer that's doing that. She is literally glitching, which means that she, for whatever reason, despite the fact that she is running to be Prime Minister of the country, leader of the country, she couldn't find a place to do this meeting that had good internet access. That is just a basic, and it's really problematic. It's not a sense that you can blame somebody for not having a good internet connection in that particular place, right? If you're living in a house and you don't have a good connection, fine. But when you have the meeting of your life, you are pitching for something that is going to matter to you, to the country, whatever it is, find somewhere that has good Wi-Fi, good internet connection, good capacity, so that you are not glitching out. Because of course, since she was glitching out, we don't know what she was really saying. All we are distracted by is the fact that her voice is not catching up with the image, and then all we do is get distracted. So simple, basic mistake that she should have avoided, didn't, and I think that undermined her performance in this particular debate. Roll on to the next one.
Let me get straight to the point. The stakes at the next election for our party are the biggest they've been in recent history. In normal circumstances, I don't need to tell all of you, it's a tough job to win a general election, but these are not going to be normal circumstances.
So Rishi Sunak is, at the moment anyway, one of the favourites to win the entire competition. But this just makes the mistakes he makes here just mind-numbingly terrible. Two things really, or three things actually if I think about it. One is, if you look behind him at how campaign, the word campaign is spelled, it's been misspelled. That is just amateurish, especially because in this same interview, he actually talks about how one of his weaknesses is his attention to detail. I don't really know how that's supposed to be a weakness, but there we are. He says one of his weaknesses, or one of the things he's known for, whatever it is his attention to detail. And yet in his background, he's spelt the word campaign wrong. Just amateurish nonsense. Second problem, the lighting. It's kind of giving a yellow or tint to his shirt. Just poor staging. Somebody really should have known far better. And thirdly, he is looking down at the camera. So when you do online meetings, as much as possible, you want to try to have your camera at roughly eye level. Now, mine isn't quite, I'm on holiday, forgive me. But if you are having the meeting of your life, where how you put yourself forward, how you pitch yourself to your audience is everything, you really cannot afford to make such basic mistakes. And the simple basic mistake of just not having your camera at eye level, having your lighting have a kind of a strange tint, and making a mistake, a straightforward typo mistake in your background, really does not speak well to your ability to lead a country, or certainly your ability to have a meeting where you can convey your message in a way that people will hear and not be distracted by the mistakes that you have made. Again, just pretty poor stuff.
We're Conservatives because we believe in Britain. This is the country that we love. This is the country that we serve. But in recent days, in recent months, we've seen trust collapse from the Conservative Party and from the government.
And finally, we have Tom Teugenhart, and you probably noticed a real difference when he came on screen, because he's actually not making all of the mistakes that all the others are. It's a couple of things I think he could have done better, but he doesn't make the mistakes that they do. Firstly, he's looking at eye level into the camera. Great, we don't feel he's looking down on us. He's also looking into the camera, not at the screen somewhere, which means we feel like he's making eye contact. His background is fine. It's not exceptional. I would have preferred a little bit more distance between him and the background, just for a better sense of space, and maybe seeing where his room, something in his room rather than just a blank wall. I have to do that because this is where I am. But still, it's fine. He didn't make the basic mistakes. His lighting was fine as well. He doesn't have some weird yellow tint as Rishi Sunak did on his shirt. So all in all, this was the way you should do online meetings if you want people to focus on your message and not all the technicalities that you got wrong. Now, a couple of things I think they could have done even better. Firstly, have a better microphone. All of them, it seemed to me, were probably using the microphone that comes with the computer. No, get yourself a good condenser, USB mic that you plug in and is properly set up. Secondly, I think they could all have used a better camera. Again, if you're running for leadership of the country, surely somebody who knows what they're doing could have set your computer up with a proper DSLR or mirrorless camera that just gives you a better exposure to you, your face and everything, and just means that you look better so that people focus more on the message rather than on the things that aren't quite right. So there we are. That's how not to do virtual meetings. Thank you, Conservative candidates, for sponsoring this video, I guess. I will see you on the next video. As always, if you need help with your communication skills, just reach out. Somewhere with this video, you will see links for more help that I can give. Cheers.